Breaking news! My Hero Academia, chapter 250. But before we get into that, go plus ultra and smash that subscribe button. It lets me know that you're rocking with the content that I put out here on this channel. And without further ado, let's get into this review. Now, check this out. If you read last chapter, then you know that the big reveal of last chapter is that we left off with basically what we already knew. It was we knew that this chapter was going to dive more into Toya than anything else that we have been previously given. And this chapter did not disappoint. Well, I mean, it kind of disappointed. It didn't really focus too much on Toya as we had hoped, but it was discussed and was brought to light. So basically, this chapter kicks off with this, well, before we get into Toya, this chapter kicks off with this mysterious man who is having this internal dialogue about Endeavor, right? It's kind of creepy. I'm not even going to hold you. But this internal dialogue about Endeavor, and coming to find out that this man is actually a villain that Endeavor had captured and sent to prison some time ago. The actual years or months or decades or whatever, how have you, has not been specified at this point in time. But the point of this is that he has since been released from prison. He's been released, and like I said earlier, he is obsessed with Endeavor, and he begins prying into his personal life and stalking his family. And the image that you see in the panel that comes up is this man standing behind or near Natsuo as Natsuo is on his phone. Basically, he's stalking Natsuo. So this is just not gonna go well. I can already tell from the very first panel. This is gonna go absolutely horribly. We flash forward, and we pick back up at the house with everybody, and Big Sis Fuyumi is talking with Midoriya and Shoto and Bakugo, and she's basically like, you haven't told them anything about Toya? She's directing that towards Shoto. So Shoto has never at any point in time ever brought up Toya, and with understanding, you know what I mean? That's your brother who, to the best of everybody's knowledge, is dead, so, and that's something that really impacted him as a child. Fuyumi is given the backstory of their family's history and how Toya and Natsuo and how close they were, right? We learned that the incident of Toya happened literally right after their mom was placed in the hospital because of what she had did to Shoto, and while everybody was going to go visit their mother, Shoto was never allowed to go and visit her, because if you remember from what you saw in the anime or from what you read in the manga, you know that Shoto reminded their mother so much of Endeavor that she could not stand the sight of him. So just for her sanity, she didn't want to see Shoto, and Shoto stayed away for his mother's health, excuse me. It's here that we learn, but we kind of already suspected it, is that Natsuo still holds a grudge against their father. The reason being is that he believes that Endeavor killed Toya. Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, look, we're still, yeah. You would think that Shoto has the most hatred for Endeavor, but after reading this, I would suspect that Natsuo has more hatred than Shoto does for Endeavor and how they treated not just him, but if Natsuo believes that Endeavor killed their brother Toya, that's not something that you can forgive. And from reading this chapter, it would seem that maybe only Natsuo believes that Endeavor is responsible for I can't even say responsible. Well, I can, but I mean, people hold people responsible if they even have some sort of a part in the death of somebody. Natsuo flat out says, Endeavor, you killed Toya. That's what he believes. It's hard to say if Natsuo will ever come to forgive Endeavor for what has happened if it actually turns out that he is dead and not, well, we'll save that for another review. Let's move on. It was in this situation that Bakugo had like an aha moment, and he realized why Natsuo was making such a face at dinner in the chapter before and had to excuse himself, right? We saw that in this panel. But it was with that revelation that this panel ends, and then we immediately jump into where a conversation with Endeavor has with the kids as he walks into the kitchen. And it's basically like, it's time for y'all to go. Well, he doesn't say that. He says, it's time for me to drive y'all back to school. Y'all have to go to your dorms. Y'all can't stay. Y'all ain't got to go home, but y'all can't stay here. But that's not before he thanks Fuyumi for inviting them all over to have dinner. And then that's also when Fuyumi turns to Midoriya and thanks him for being such a friend to Shoto. And it's understandable because she sees a genuine difference in Shoto now that, Midoriya is, friends with him and Shoto has come out of his shell. Because before that, Shoto was, much like Sasuke. He was just a lone wolf in school. It wasn't until Midoriya reached out to him and really made a press to be friends, to learn and to grow and to train together, that Fuyumi sees a true difference in Shoto, his personality, how he interacts, the willingness to forgive Endeavor, his willingness to actually use his fire. I know that was a long time ago, but you got to understand how old is Shoto, and I can't remember if we actually know what age he started developing his quirk and, unlocking it, but he was dead set against ever using his fire. So they have Midoriya to thank for that. You know what I mean? He's coming into his own. He doesn't look at the fire as Endeavor's quirk. He looks at it as his own quirk. So Fuyumi thanks Midoriya for that. And then you have Bakugo just scowling in the background. You can always count on Bakugo. But while driving back to school, Endeavor, he begins having this conversation with the three as they sit in the back seat. And he straight up tells them, like, look, I need you all to power up quickly. Okay? We cannot afford to beat around the bush anymore. And then he makes a change in their schedule. And then he says that we're going to begin to work and train 2 days out of the week in addition to the weekends. Everybody agrees, and then we flash forward, and the Mummy Man pops up. The Mummy Man pops up. Apparently, look, I don't know if this counts as flying, but he's not on the ground is what I'm telling you. He pops up. He says that's a nice house you got there. And you can clearly see that he has somebody wrapped up in bandages where he is. Guess who this man has wrapped up in these? Look, he has Natsuo captured already. So that scene that we saw at the beginning of the chapter where he was stalking Natsuo, yeah, he managed to capture him. He captures Natsuo. He's holding Natsuo hostage. And basically he's like, yo, Endeavor, come at me, bro. Endeavor, literally, the car screeches to a halt and Endeavor just blasts out of the car. He's in full rage mode at this point. No suit, so his clothes are just extra crispy. He's naked flying. All right, but that's, I don't want to focus on that. I just want to make that, like, that was my thought process. Maybe it wasn't yours, but it was definitely mine. You can say what you want about Endeavor. He is trying, and he does love his kids. Like, he's well aware that Natsuo does not like him. He's well aware that Natsuo doesn't forgive him, and he's well aware that Natsuo probably thinks that he killed Toya. But he's not going to play when it comes to his kids. It is here that we find out about this villain. This villain's name is Ending. Okay? We don't get an in-depth explanation as to what his ability is, but we find out the basics of Ending. We find out that Endeavor arrested this man 7 years ago for assault. Okay? We don't know who he assaulted. We don't know the details. We just know he was arrested for assault. He served 7 years in prison, and then he was released. He clearly made enough of an impact on Endeavor because Endeavor remembers this man. So he has to be some sort of crazy because, Endeavor's all about capturing villains and stuff like that. So if he's stuck in Endeavor's mind, he's nobody to be trifled with. Ending is psychotic. He is upset with Endeavor because he wanted Endeavor to kill this man. He stated in the manga, in this chapter, that he has nothing he cares about. He has nothing he cherishes. He wants to die. He looks at Endeavor at the end of this chapter and says, don't make the same mistake twice. Make sure you kill me this time, or I'm going to kill your son. He literally has a death wish, and he is not even at this point, I can't even say he's antagonizing. This man is going to die, but he has to be if you want to die, clearly it's a thrill of the fight for him. We're going to see, because if he just wanted to die, I don't know. But he has this weird admiration for Endeavor to where he wants specifically for Endeavor to kill him. He knows who Endeavor's family is. He knows where Endeavor lives. He probably knew his wife. It's probably a weird stalker type of thing going on with Ending and Endeavor. Who did he assault? He might have assaulted somebody in the past. this thought just came to me. Did he assault Toya? Was that what happened? I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes. This man went after Endeavor in the past. It was a simple assault. No, because it would have been considered murder. He got charged for assault. So, I don't know. Did he go after Toya? I can't tell you. But this dude's weird. I do like how Hirokoshi does his villains. Ending gives me a lot of Stain vibes just without the motive. You hear what I'm saying? But that's all I got for y'all today. I don't got a lot of rambling to do. I thought about it, gave my 2 cents at the end of the chapter. Does this man ending have anything to do with Toya and his mysterious death? Who knows? But that is all I have for y'all today. Thank y'all for rocking with me to the end of this video. If you did rock with me to the end of this video, if you are new, please subscribe. Drop a like if you liked it. Drop a dislike if you disliked it. Leave a comment. Share it. All that fancy stuff. And like always, keep it safe and wrap it tight. I'm out.
Behind me again? Are you kidding me?
Good copy. UAV beginning flyover.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Bitch ass nigga, dog. You let them nigga win, bro. What the fuck wrong with you, dog? Yeah, you can't let a bunch of niggas win.
I let him win. I let him win because you suck.
Bro. Like, what the fuck,
you suck.
bro?
I let him win because you're trash.
What? We were just talking
You're
about
trash.
what a bunch of niggers we are. Why fuck your wife, nigga? Yeah.
You suck.